In the year 2000, a man feared across an entire state was dragged into a crowded market. No judge, no courtroom, no mercy, and within minutes, he was gone. Some believed he was a prophet. Others believed he was something far more dangerous. His name was Nawgu. Before the fear, before the power, before the rumors, he was just Edwin Okeke, born in Nawgu. His life was ordinary, at least in the beginning, but everything changed when he made a bold claim. At the age of 29, he said he received divine powers from God. Not ordinary powers, but the ability to see beyond the physical world, to heal, to reveal hidden truths, and people believed him. Soon, Edwin Okeke became known as Nawgu. He established the Anioma Healing Centre, a place that quickly became a magnet for the desperate. The sick came for healing, the poor came for hope, the troubled came for answers. And for a while, it seemed like miracles were happening. Stories spread of people being healed, of lives changing overnight. And just like that, his reputation grew. But then, something happened. In 1990, during a church service, two men were celebrated for what people called a breakthrough. But later, the truth came out. These men weren't blessed businessmen. They were drug traffickers who claimed their success came from Eddie's spiritual help. That moment changed everything, because now, people started asking questions. By the mid-1990s, Nawgu was no longer just a prophet. He had become powerful. Wealthy men, even those in positions of authority, were said to visit his center for protection and blessings. And then, he gave himself titles that shocked many. Najuka, a deity that goes to church. Okalamadu, Okalamu, half man, half spirit. At this point, fear began to replace faith. Then came the allegations, whispers at first, then louder, then impossible to ignore. Across Anambra State, people began linking his name to serious crimes, kidnappings, connections to armed robbers, illegal weapons, and then, the most terrifying claims of all, ritual activities. Stories of missing children, stories that sent fear through entire communities. No one knew exactly what was true, but by now, his name alone was enough to cause silence. Then came the Bakassi Boys, formed to fight crime. They did not wait for the courts. They delivered justice, their own way. For years, they tried to capture Nawgu, but every attempt failed. People began to say he could disappear. He could not be caught. He was protected by something beyond human understanding. But then, November 2000, everything changed. Under the cover of darkness, the Bakassi Boys launched a surprise operation. They stormed his home. This time, there was no escape. Nawgu was captured, a search was conducted, and strangely, no weapons were found. What happened next remains controversial. Reports began to spread that he confessed to using human sacrifices to prepare charms for wealth. The story shocked everyone. And then came the final act. At a crowded market square in Onitsha, a large crowd gathered. There was no trial, no judge, no defense, only judgment. Within moments, Nawgu was executed publicly. Just like that, his life ended. After his death, many expected answers. The government set up a panel, but the panel had no legal authority, and its findings never officially released, which left behind a mystery. Was he truly guilty? Were the confessions real? Or was this a case of fear, turning into something else? Nawgu left behind a wife and 8 children, but his story, it didn't end with his death. Even today, people still argue, was he a prophet or a criminal? His story reflects a time when fear, belief, and justice collided, and the line between truth and myth disappeared. Do you think Nawgu was guilty or misunderstood? Comment below.